probably wondering what you're doing following me out here in the middle of nowhere, Northwest Ohio, Delaware County. We find ourselves at an old feed mill. And we also have the best of the best, the 2015 McLaren P1. This model was introduced in Geneva at the 2012 Geneva Motor Show. So this car is coming up on 10 years old. Very hard to believe, still a timeless design, one of the best design cars in my opinion of all time. My personal favorite, I know I talk about the Koenigsegg Regera a lot, but every time I drive it, every time I see it, this keeps coming back as my ultimate favorite car ever made. I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of seat time in this car. We put a lot of miles on it when it's running right, so hopefully we can keep it in the garage here for a while. Let's jump into some of the quick stats that I'm sure everybody knows over the last 9 years. One of 375 made in the world. I think they had something around 900 inquiries on the car when it was introduced. Another crazy fact, second road car ever made by McLaren Automotive. The reintroduced McLaren Automotive after the mid-90s F1 car, of course. Those were quickly sold out. 850, 900,000 was the MSRP, and then they were just built up from there to customer spec. This particular car is chassis 275. It was not from factory. It was not one of the original Carbon Series cars, which they made 5 of them. This car was actually retrofitted in a full carbon body in this magnificent Fire Genesis blue. We've had, what, Bryce, 3 cars now? That the original owner of this car kind of blessed us with that color. He paid a pretty penny to basically trademark that color, to be the only person to be able to use the Fire Genesis blue. We were able to use it on our Senna, which the original owner of this car spec'd himself, and then we basically bought it from him before he took ownership of the car. And we are also allowed to use it on the McLaren 600 LT that is no longer with us. That car we went with a satin Fire Genesis blue carbon. Magnificent car as well. As we walk around to the rear of the car, you notice it'll be sitting in race mode. This car is also equipped with race mode 2, which is essentially an ECU trickery magic kind of thing that MSO does, where you put the lift all the way up, put it in race mode, hold race, and it drops it into normal sport mode as far as the suspension height, but it allows the wing to be fully activated at almost its 12-inch capacity here. So the car, you know, it's pretty quick, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. You got to think a car that came out in 2012, 2013, that's lightning fast. I know the Rimac Nevera, you can keep it in the comments, you know, 1.8 seconds, I get it. But this car is also 10 years old. So you got to think a rear-wheel drive car at the time, pushing a, 3.8 liter V8 twin turbo with an electric hybrid assist. So you're around 903 horsepower total. So we did some things to this car to make it more aesthetically appealing. The US market cars have the amber turn signals here. We went ahead and got the Euro spec headlights, and we also got the Euro spec taillights installed. Come around to the interior. We went ahead and ripped out the original saddle brown leather seats. Not that we disliked them, we just prefer the dark navy Alcantara seats. And we swapped out the blue leather steering wheel with the full blue Alcantara steering wheel with the 12 o'clock stripe on there as well. As far as the interior, that's all that we've done to the car in the last 2 years of ownership, besides put a ton of miles on the car. We drive it all the time. It's one of our favorites, as I said. As I've mentioned before, 903 total horsepower with 177 horsepower coming from the electric hybrid battery. The battery on this car is about this big and about this tall. Top speed 217 miles an hour, which it's electronically governed, of course. You get there really, really quickly. This car does a great job with the hybrid battery assisting you. There's no turbo lag, there's no delay, just proper acceleration all through every single gear. You can be cold tires, 4th gear, slight pull, kind of getting squirrely. This car allows you to play with it a little bit. And I just think all the new cars these days, the SF90s of the world, the 918s, the ECUs are so strong. Even the Senna, there's no play in those cars. It shuts you down right away, cuts the throttle, there's no power left. As you can see here, the entire car is carbon fiber. Now that's whether it's a Carbon Series or a retrofitted carbon car or not. Most of the cars were painted over the carbon fiber. Down here, this is one of my favorite parts, all the different types of carbon they used, all the different patterns. You can see how thick the weave is, all the way down to how thin the weave is on the monocage. So this is a monocage, meaning it's a fully enclosed chassis, where some of the newer ones are the monocell. I believe they're all spiders. So the monocell stops right here. That's what allows McLaren to make the spider versions. This one was not offered in a spider. Can you imagine though? A P1 spider? Holy,
be incredible.
Seriously, that would be the ultimate. I'm not a big spider guy. I do like hard tops. but I can only imagine the driving experience of a P1 Spider. All right, guys, I understand the car's been out for 10 years. There's nothing I can really talk about that maybe you guys don't know. But for now, let's hop on the interior. Maybe I can show you some cool things that this car has. All right, guys, welcome to the interior of my favorite car, the McLaren P1. As you can see, you have a very raw carbon fiber. There's no clear coat, there's no lacquer on any of the carbon fiber on the interior, giving a very raw presence, very race car feel. As you look over in the driver's cockpit, everything's geared towards the driver of this car. And if you look on the dash, there's nothing to distract you. There's 2 air vents to keep you cool, and then there's your screen. Now, when you have it in race mode, everything turns horizontal, your RPMs, and the tri-screens they only show you the information you need when you're on the track, which is really nice. The steering wheel, this is a fun fact, this was actually emulated to represent Lewis Hamilton's steering hand position. I don't know if that's 100% factual, but I did read it on the internet, so it's got to be true, similar to all your guys' comments. It's got the iPass, the DRS, as you guys know. It's another, they took a lot of Formula One technology and put it into this car. That's actually where they got the name P1. As you know, if you're a Formula One fan, P1 stands for position 1, P2, P3, that's your place on the grid at the start of the Formula One race. My favorite feature, you guys are probably wondering, of the P1 is the cup holders. It has 3 cup holders for 2 people. Another cool interior feature is the Gorilla Glass roof that's not attached to the door. You know, like the Senna is attached to the door, the 720, the Gorilla Glass was attached to the door, and it's tinted to try to, you know, refrain heat from coming into the cabin, which it does a pretty good job of. As you guys know, all of our McLarens, we typically spec with roof scoops if it's possible. Sometimes even if it's not possible, we try. So another one of my favorite features is the roof scoop. Unfortunately, with the mono cage, it's super thick back here, and you can't see the tubes that funnel back like in the 675. This car, the interior cabin noises, and I think Bryce can attest to this, the interior cabin noises of a McLaren P1 are second to none. There's the wastegates, the blow-off valves, the turbos, everything just works together brilliantly in this car, and it makes for one of the best driving experiences of any car we have in the garage. As I mentioned, it's by far my favorite, and I'm quickly reminded every time I walk out in the garage and see it. It's timeless. Can't believe this car is going to be 10 years old next year, and this one's here to stay for quite a while. I'll leave you guys with this. Big things coming from this car. We have a lot of good plans with this car, possibly Savage Rally towards the end of September, the 17th through the 21st, I believe. Also, we may be doing some exterior mods to this car, so stay tuned for more info on that. And for now, though, let's check out some of Bryce's beautiful B-roll. It's one of my favorite things to watch, so enjoy, guys.
Okay.
So we're in a McLaren P1.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say, or is this a review over?
It's done.
Okay. On the road, here we go.
You like that?
I love that.
What's your favorite part about this car? The blow-off valves?
Yes. The blow-off valves. You can hear
It's
that?
unlike anything I've ever been in.
It really truly sounds like a spaceship. Everybody throws that word around, spaceship. The Speedtail looks like a spaceship. This sounds like a spaceship. Like the sounds are just unreal. I'd say the P1 and the Bugatti are two of my favorites.
Well, this car, when I started driving, I felt so comfortable in this that I hit my all-time top speed in this car. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that. What did you hit in it?
I can't say. What's your opinion on the iPass?
I don't really like to use it. I know you have to be more in like race mode. And
So what is it, race and boost?
And to be honest, I don't fully understand it. But like when I've been in it, it hasn't given me.
You don't feel the boost.
It like takes away boost. It's almost like you have to press it to get boost.
Okay.
From my experience, I haven't done it too much.
Well, let's try it. Can we try it?
Because it feels so good without it.
Well, we're gonna try it
Yeah, we can try it.
and see the difference. God, everything about it's so great. The sound, the feel.
And it's still so fast. I mean, from 2015 to be a part of the original Holy Trinity. And I mean, honestly, all the cars, the LaFerrari, right? That's like probably your favorite.
That's my favorite right now, but
The P1 is my favorite. And I mean,
the P1's right up there though. When you get in it, it makes it fun to drive. Some of these cars are fast and have a lot of features, but there's something that the emotion you get from this is a little bit different than some of the other cars.
it is. I mean,
It's hard to put into word that emotion you get.
It is, but no other McLaren feels like this. Even though a lot of people say, oh, they're all so similar. You know, they have the same motors. I mean, this is such a different animal than anything else.
And you don't feel cramped in here. I love the glass up top, makes it feel open.
It has a lot of light. So the P1 was my dream car from a long time ago that I never thought would ever be possible to ever get. So this is like my pipe dream car. There's just nothing like this car. The sound, the closest thing is to the blow-off valve and the turbo sound, and everything is the Bugatti. It's similar to it.
Similar, but still nothing.
But not exactly like it. Like that right there. Did you hear that?
Yeah, you don't do it justice. Don't do that again.
Okay. Noted. This car has cost us the most money out of pocket out of any of the hypercars or any car period, probably by triple.
You think that much?
Yeah, I've probably spent about $200,000 out of pocket on fixing various things on the car, like half the hydraulics on the wing, accumulators, door latches. And, you know, if I didn't like this car so much, you know, it would make you consider, like, you know, do I really want it? Which I mean, I've even thought that at times, and I love the car, but this car is so good. So good.
It's such a driver's car.
It is. And the fact that it's a full carbon body makes it so much more special than, you know, it's not just one of the 375.
Okay, so we got to try this iPass. I got to feel it.
Okay, so I believe that we do that, we press boost.
I think, okay, it's in sport. All you have to do is hit boost.
Yep, so there's boost. So without boost, there's an iPass meter on my instrument cluster that's grayed out right now.
Okay.
All right, so when I press boost, that now fills up and allows me to use this iPass. So
when do you push the button? Like right before you're going to accelerate?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like almost like if you're coming out onto a straight,
you'd hit it?
And you would hit it. Now let me just see, because the last time I did this, from what I remember, it didn't give me boost without pressing the button. So let me just slow down a little bit.
So you have to push the button, I know that. Was that the iPass or no iPass?
That was iPass, but I can't really tell if it's like...
When are you pushing it? Before you're going to accelerate?
Pretty much like as soon, like right before I'm holding both of these down.
You hold them or press them?
Hold them.
Just press it. What does it do?
No, it doesn't do anything.
Hold it now. What does it do?
Well, it doesn't really like tell you. So tell me if this feels any different then, okay? I'm not going to use it.
I can't tell the difference.
It's fun though. It's just so smooth. Just like the LaFerrari though. Like, it's crazy that how like these, like the P1 and the LaFerrari are like, now I mean, we kind of don't talk about the 918 too much, with it. I mean, to me, it's a clear step below the P1 and the LaFerrari.
For sure.
It's up there, and I love it.
It's a fun car, but if you've got the option, it's going to be for sure your third pick.
For sure.
This is a head turner too. It's gorgeous from the outside. It looks like no other car.
Oh, it really doesn't. I still believe this is up there with the most beautiful cars ever created. The flowing lines, everything about this car. We were talking about it last night. We were sitting there, Brett and I, and Bryce. We're sitting there in chairs in the garage. And we're just talking about like the Pagani sitting there looks wild, insane, right? Like one of the craziest looking cars on the road. But then like there's something different about elegance compared to just wild. And like the elegance and the line and the beauty of this car is just absolutely insane. But this will go down as one of the best design cars of all time.
For sure, definitely iconic in performance, the aesthetics, the design, it's just
everything. So no, I'd be interested to know though what everybody else thinks, which car they'd prefer out of the Holy Trinity, whether it's the P1, the LaFerrari, or the 918.
Well, we know it's not the 918.
Somebody came up to me at the car show and said the 918 was their favorite car there, period.
Okay.
It's pretty wild.
You'd have to be like a Porsche enthusiast to say that, don't you think?
Probably.
Kind of biased.
Probably.